I'm gonna do the question now, right? So could anybody tell me what they got for the center? That was the first part of the question. Anybody got an answer? Oh. Plus 22y plus 1, 2 is equal to 0. So this was the equation that they gave you, and it's in the general form. And they wanted for part I, they wanted to know the center. And for part II, they want to know the length of the radius. Just like the question we were doing before. So the first thing you need to do is recognize that this is in the general form. So the general form, x squared plus y squared plus 2hx plus 2ky plus c is equal to 0. That's the first thing you want to recognize, right? And we said to find the center, we could use, this is one of the ways, h is equal to the coefficient, so co-e of x divided by 2. And then k is equal to the coefficient of y divided by 2. Anybody got an answer for the center? Yeah, no? Okay, let me just go through it then. All right. Looking at this, the equation that they gave us. X squared plus y squared minus 12x minus 22y plus 152 is equal to 0. We said h is equal to the coefficient of x divided by 2. Looking at this equation, the coefficient of x, so the term that comes right before x, the number that comes before x, in this case, that's 12. So what we substitute in here would be equal to coefficient of x, so that's 12, divided by 2, which is 6. So h is equal to 6. K is the coefficient of y divided by 2. Coefficient of y is the number that comes. Hold on, not 12. Here is a, that's a minus sign there. Don't make that mistake. This is, it's minus 12. Don't make that mistake, huh? It's minus 12. So it's minus 12 divided by 2, which is minus 6. K is minus 6, not 6. To find, h is minus 6, not 6. To find k is the coefficient of y divided by 2. The coefficient of y, that's the term that comes right before y, the number that comes before y. So that's minus 22 in this case, minus 22, not just 22. So what we put in here, minus 22 divided by 2 is equal to minus 11. So what we have now is that h is equal to minus 6 and k is equal to minus 11. But we said that the coordinates of the center, it's not h and k, it's minus h and minus k. So if h is equal to 6, equal to minus 6, that means that minus h has to be equal to minus 6, to 6. Let me erase that. If h is equal to minus 6, that means that minus h is equal to 6. So minus h is equal to 6. And if k is equal to minus 11, that means that minus k has to be equal to 11. erase. They asked me for the center, which has the coordinates -h and -k. We found out that -h is 6 and -k is 11. And that is why this right here is my answer for the center, 6, 11. You understand that?
Yes, miss.
All right. Let me just show you the other way with the completing the square and all that. Actually, no, let me do it now. So the other way, instead of using the formulas, coefficient of x on 2 and coefficient of y on 2, you could write this general form. So this is the general, so the standard form. So the first thing I was saying, group the like terms. So first I want to group all the terms at x. And then I'll group all the terms at y. Plus 2ky plus c is equal to 0. And I was saying we have to complete the square. Remember, this is the completed square form. X plus h squared plus k. And this is what general form of a quadratic looks like. Ax squared plus bx plus c. If I wanted to complete this square, let me use blue, right? So a, which is the coefficient of x squared, is 1 in this case. We're looking at this. Or we're looking at this. But right now we're looking at this first blue box. So a is 1. So we don't need to put the 1 there. We could just put the brackets. It's understood. So x plus h. Why was what I did by mistake before. I was using the again, don't be like me. Make sure and eat something before your exam, because you could do nonsense. Right. So what I was saying before, I was completing the square like normal. So h is equal to b on 2a and k is equal to 4ac minus b squared on 4a. That's not this case, right? H is still your coefficient of x. Coefficient of x on 2. K is your coefficient of y. I mean, you know what? Let me not show you this method before I confuse somebody. Let's not do this, okay? Erase, 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 erase. Yeah, so let's not do that method because I don't want to confuse anybody because you have to go on. Anyways, don't do that method. Do the formula one, right?
Let's have a question. So for the center, you use negative h and negative k, but in the textbook, I saw they have positive h and positive k.
Because I have it on the PowerPoint. CSEC uses this version. No, erase. I'm not doing completely square. Standard form as this. However, I have it on the PowerPoint too, because I wanted to make that clear. This is what CSEC has. So this is what we're doing, because this is what you would see in past papers. However, how most people write the standard form is like this. This is how most people write it. This is how I learned it. But CSEC has this. Looking at this example up here, for the one in red, the center, let me write it in red, is minus H and minus K. For this one, the center would be H and would be K. Okay, so your textbook probably had it like this. Most textbooks have it like this, but you know, on your paper.
SCMS.
What?
SCMS. SCNN.
All right. Okay, Erisa. So the one in red, that's the one you would see all the time. That's the only one you would see in your past papers. I've never seen the one in blue in past papers before because the syllabus requires you to learn the one in red, not the one in blue. So that's why I was teaching you that. Right. So the radius, remember this formula, C is equal to H squared plus K squared minus R squared. Let me just write this here. Oh, nothing green. H was equal to minus 6, not minus H, yeah? H. H was equal to minus 6. And K was equal to minus 11. C in this case, is 152. So that's 152 is equal to minus 6 squared plus minus 11 squared minus R squared. Oh. And what we're trying to do now, we're trying to find for R, we're trying to find the radius. All right. So let me continue in white. 152 is equal to minus 6 squared is 36. And this is 121. And if I, so that's 152 is equal to 157 minus R squared. I could minus 157 on both sides. So I'll end up with minus 5 is equal to minus R. Therefore, 5 would be equal to R squared. And to find R, we have to square root both sides. So R is equal to the square root of 5. Since they didn't give you any units, you should write the word units here. Units. Understand that?
Yes, Miss.
Anybody else? Anybody has any problems? No? Yes? No? Okay. Well, that's the end of that question. I'm going to move on to the next past paper question now. Do this part for me first. This one right here. Okay, we're gonna go through the question now. Okay, the first thing you wanna do here, write down all the information that they gave you. So they told us that the points, what are the points? Oh my gosh, what were the points? 3, 2, and -1, 4. And they said that these 2 points were the endpoints of the diameter. So just put di. It always helps to draw a little sketch to the side. If you want to, you don't have to. So this is my center here, the dot. We know that the diameter of a circle connects the 2 points on the circumference, right? So this is the straight line going through the center here. This is my diameter. They said that one of the endpoints is 3, 2, and then the other one is -1, 4. So this one would most likely be the -1, 4. And this one would be the 3, 2. And they told us that they want the equation of the circle. We know to find the equation of the circle, we need a h. So h is equal to question mark. We need a k is equal to question mark. And we need a r is equal to question mark. Do we know any of these? Do we know h? Actually, let me just tell you. We don't know h. We don't have a value for k. And we don't know what r is. So now we have to find that. Does anybody have any idea what we could do first? Anybody? We need to find h, we need to find k, and we need to find r. Let's try to find r first. Does anybody know how to find r? Anybody? Going once, going twice. Okay. So what you need to do, recall this formula from the very beginning of this topic. We said d, the distance between 2 points, is equal to square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Anybody remembers this formula?
Yes, miss.
So if you use this formula, you'll be finding the length of this entire line. So we'll be finding the length of the diameter. So let's do that first. 3, 2, I would use this as my x2 and y2, and this as x1 and y1. So that's the square root of, just sub in the values now. So I said x2 is 3, so that's 3 minus x1 is -1, so that's 3 minus -1 squared plus y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 4 squared. I don't really want to erase that diagram. Okay, let me erase it. We could read right after. So all now we just try to find the length of the diameter. We know that's a minus and a minus is a plus. So this is actually 3 plus 1 squared plus 2 minus 4 is minus 2, so that's minus 2 squared. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 squared is 16. And minus 2 squared is positive 4, so that's plus 4. 16 plus 4, so that's the square root of 20. Everybody understands how I got that?
Yes, miss.
I need one more person answering me. Yes, two, maybe. One more person answer me, please. You understand what I just did?
Yeah, miss.
Okay. Minus 1, 4. And 3, 2. What we just found is the length of this blue line. So let me put it in blue. 20 units. But we don't need the diameter. We need H, we need a K, and we need a R. And we know this already, that the diameter is the same as 2R, 2 by the radius. Or you could say the diameter divided by 2 is the same as the radius. We know that, right? From math class. You know that about the diameter and the radius?
Yes, miss.
All right. So now that we have the length of the diameter, this blue line, we don't want that. We want the green line. The green line. So let me just, this is the line we want. We want the radius. And if you notice, the green line is half of the blue line. So what we could say, we could divide this root 20 by 2 to get the length of the radius. If you do that, if you punch that into your calculator, you'll get root 5. But for the people who already did thirds, don't worry, people who didn't do it, we're going to do that eventually. Root 20, that's the same as root 4 times 5. And we know that the root of 4 is 2, so that root 20 is the same as this, 2 by root 5. And if I divide that by 2, I get root 5. That's just for the persons who already did thirds. The people who didn't do thirds yet, don't worry. Just punch it into your calculator, root 20 divided by 2. You're going to get root 5. So now we know that the radius, the length of the radius, is this. Remember, if it's not an exact decimal, don't approximate it, write the exact value. So that's root 5 units. Everybody good with that? Yes, no?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And I might not have enough time. We have a little over a minute left. Okay, I'll end this meeting and rejoin because we only have a little over a minute left.